Now we are going to start with the chemical properties of the phenol. So these are the few important chemical properties of the phenol. So the first properties, these one, acidic nature, reaction with zinc, reaction with benzoyl chloride or acid chloride, or reaction with PCl5. These reactions are actually reactions of OH group, as it contains the benzene ring also and the phenolic group also. So there will be a reaction which will be shown by the phenolic group as well as the benzene ring. And these reactions like halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, alkalization and acylization, these are the reactions of the benzene ring. Right. So we are going to start with the chemical properties. So first we are going to start with the reactions of this thing, OH group. So the first property we are going to discuss is acidic nature. Now if we talk about the acidic nature of phenol, phenols are actually weak acid. Phenols are actually weak acid, even they are weaker than carbonic acid, you know that. We know that carbonic acid is much weaker acid, but still the phenols are much weaker than that. And you know that, but still you know that they react with metal or any metal compound forming a metal salt. So that means though they are very less acidic, but still they can react with active metals to form metal salt. So just look at the board how, suppose this is the phenol. It can react with metal or metal compound, I told you, to form a metal, active metal salt. So let's say this is sodium phenoxide. So this kind of thing, it can still form, though it is weak acid, but still it can form this kind of salt. Now you know that as I told you, it is a weak acid, but if I compare its acidic character with alcohols and water, it is still stronger. It is still stronger. That means phenol is much stronger acid as compared to the alcohol and water. So now you know that and because it is a stronger one, so that means it turns blue litmus red. It can turn actually blue litmus red, which cannot be turned by water or alcohol. Now you know that how we can explain its acidic character, that how we can compare its acidic character. We can compare on the basis of resonance. We know that, as we discussed before also, that we can actually draw the the resonating structures for the phenol, and we have like this. Let me draw first. It acquires a partial negative charge. This is positive, and this negative, because these have electrons, they will be in conjugation with benzene ring, so they will have these electrons will move at ortho and para positions, because OH group is ortho and para directing. So it will be like this. It will be like this. So it's one bond here, here. So it will be, or it will be. Like this. So that means we can have these kinds of resonating structures. Now we can actually draw the resonating structures of the phenoxide ion also. Suppose this is my phenol. So when it will lose H ion, it will form a phenoxide ion. We know that. And though it also contains a charge, so it can also, like its electrons can be in conjugation with benzene ring, and we can have again a partial double bond character, and this negative charge will be rotated at these places. We need to rotate here this side, and similarly this one is. So we have these kind of resonating structure for the phenol, and this is for the phenoxide. So as we can see here, like if we compare their stability, actually phenol resonating structure is somehow less stable than the phenoxide one, which is more stable. Now reason being, because here you can see that this resonating structure contain both the charges, positive and negative, so they will somehow have certain attractive force between them. But if we compare the resonating structure of the phenoxide, it has only one charge, only one charge is there, so that means that this will be more stable. So any this thing, so if anybody asks you about the stability of phenoxide or the phenol, you will see that you are going to say that phenoxide is comparatively more stable than the phenol. The reason being it contains two kind of charges, so there will be a little strong attraction between it, so which will not allow the release of proton, or you can say it will be somehow difficult. But here is only one charge, so that means phenoxide ion is more stable. So any factor which increase the stability of phenoxide ion, any factor which increase the stability of phenoxide ion is going to increase the acidic strength, and any factor which decrease the stability of phenoxide ion is going to decrease the acidic strength. So that means, because we know that here you can see that as the electrons are moving here, so that means it is positively charged, so it is going to attract this shared pair of electron more towards itself, and as a result the release of proton will be possible. This is what is going to happen here. So any factor, you know, that which is going to increase the stability is going to increase the acidic strength, and any factor which is going to decrease the stability of phenoxide is going to decrease the acidic strength. So suppose if I have electron withdrawing group attached and I have electron releasing group attached. Suppose here if I like have a electron releasing group, so it will somehow increase the electrons, so it will neutralize this charge, and oxygen will not going to attract the OH electrons, and as a result release of proton will be difficult. So we will say that acidic strength will decrease. So when it will decrease, when the benzene ring has an electron releasing group there. But if I have an electron withdrawing group, it will further withdraw an electron, it will intensify this charge, and somehow it will attract more electron toward itself, and the release of proton will be however more easy. So that means electron withdrawing increase the stability, electron releasing decrease the stability. And keep in mind that the electron withdrawing group attached to a benzene ring is more effective when it is at para position as compared to the ortho one, as compared to the meta one, or we compare it with the phenol which has no any group, electron withdrawing group attached. And more the number of electron withdrawing groups, more the number of electron withdrawing groups, more is going to be the acidic strength. So we will write a maximum strength, right. So this is how you are going to compare the comment on the acidic nature. So we are going to say that this thing, the phenol is somehow weak acid than carbonic acid, but still it is stronger than alcohol and phenol. That is why it is capable of turning blue litmus red, right. But if we talk about that, what is the factor that is responsible for the acidic nature, then you are going to say that the factor that is responsible, we can explain it with the resonance. As you can see that oxygen here in resonating structure, oxygen here has a positive charge. So it is going to, like, if it has a positive charge, so obviously it is going to attract the shared pair more towards itself, and there will be a release of proton possible. But if we compare, like after releasing, we know that it forms phenoxide ion, we draw resonating structures for that also. So if we compare the stability, if it has been more stable, so that means the acidic character won't be there. But if this can be stable, so that means the release of proton will be possible. So we see that phenoxide resonating structures are more stable. The reason because it has only one charge on it, right. But here there are positive and negative charge, which will somehow have an attractive force, and somehow you can say that it will be less stable, right. So any factor which increase the stability of phenoxide is going to increase the basic strength, acidic strength, sorry. But if any factor is going to decrease the stability of phenoxide, is going to reduce the acidic strength. So we see that when electron withdrawing groups are attached, they increase the acidic character because they withdraw more electrons from the oxygen, so intensify this positive charge, which will further attract the electrons from the OH pair, and the release of proton will be much easier as compared to the one which has the electron releasing group. And electron withdrawing group has a more prominent effect when it is present at para position as compared to the ortho one. Ortho is greater as compared to the meta, or it is greater than when there is no electron withdrawing group. And more the number of electron withdrawing group, more is going to be the acidic strength. So this is how you are going to comment on the acidic strength. Now looking on to the reactions, other reaction with zinc, right. So zinc is, suppose I have a phenol, I am going to distill it with zinc. So when I distill it with zinc, it undergoes a substitution reaction, and you know that we get benzene with Zn. So this is what is formed. That means phenol get transforms into a benzene. Third, reaction with benzoyl chloride. So when I react phenol, benzoyl chloride, we know that is C6H5COCl. I'm going to react it. So when I react with benzoyl chloride, what I get is H is replaced by this group. So we get this thing. And along with that we get the HCl. Next is with acid chloride. So when I do it with acid chloride, let us say this is my phenol. Acid chloride, we know that is CH3, let us take CH3COCl, or RCOCl is the basic formula. I am going to use AlCl3, and here I am going to use pyridine. And you know that what has happened, again H is going to replace by this group, and we are going to get this thing, that is phenyl acetate. Right. So, and this is phenyl benzoate, and this is phenyl acetate, and along with that we get HCl. Right. And with PCl5, suppose I have a phenol, I am going to react with PCl5, it is going to form a chlorobenzene, along with that I get PO, Cl3 and water. So these are the reactions basically of the OH group. I think it's clear. So when you distill it with zinc dust, it forms benzene. When you're going to react with the benzoyl chloride or acid chloride, this group is going to replace H. You get phenyl benzoate, and here you get phenyl acetate. And when you're going to react with PCl5, you will get a chlorobenzene with POCl3 and water. So these are the basic reactions which are shown by the OH group. Now coming on to the reaction of the benzene ring. So the first reaction we are going to discuss is halogenation. As you all know that halogenation means a reaction in which I am going to add, these are actually an addition reaction because it contains the double bond, 3 alternate double bonds. So we can add any substance. So halogenation is basically an addition of halogen. So let us say, suppose I have phenol, I am going to react with, let's say, bromine. So when I react with bromine, and also keep in mind all the reactions are like the groups which get attached are at ortho and para position, because the substitution, the addition reaction take place in ortho, or you can say benzene is actually ortho and para directing. So when you add bromine in presence of carbon disulfide, you get the derivatives, that is at ortho position you get this 1-bromophenol or your ortho-bromophenol, and along with that you get para 1 also, like this. But when you add bromine in excess, or you take an aqueous solution of bromine, what you get at like this, you get 3 bromines actually added to it, this thing. So you get like if I number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, so it is going to be 2, 4, 6 tribromophenol. So this is going to be formed. So if you need to have in a controlled manner, that is ortho-bromophenol and para-bromophenol, you can get by when you're doing in the presence of carbon disulfide. But when you take an aqueous solution of bromine, you're going to get this kind of tribromo substituted phenol. Second we have is nitration. So in nitration, what we are going to do, we know that whenever we need to carry out nitration, we need to take HNO3. So this is my phenol, I am going to take HNO3, and whenever nitration take place, we know that NO2 group actually gets attached. So here when we take dilute HNO3 and when we take concentrated HNO3, that depends, like the product differs in both the case. So when we take dilute HNO3, what do we get? We get, that is ortho-nitrophenol and para-nitrophenol. Right, and these two, both ortho and para forms, they can be actually separated by steam distillation process, as this is less volatile and this is more volatile. So we can actually separate them. But if we take concentrated HNO3, what do we get? We get a picric acid. That means again NO2 at all 3 positions. So this is something called as picric acid. So when you take concentrated HNO3, you get picric acid, but when you take dilute HNO3, you get ortho-nitrophenol and para-nitrophenol. So the third reaction we are going to see is sulfonation. So when we carry out sulfonation, we know that we need to carry out sulfonation by using H2SO4. So this is my phenol. I am going to carry out the sulfonation. So when I do it at low temperature and when I do it at high temperature, the product actually differ. At low temperature, what do I get? I get SO3H group attached at the ortho position, but at high temperature, what do I get? I get the SO3H group attached at the para position. And you know that this is, the para one is in high yield. Like if we talk about the yield of para one is the maximum. Next is the alkylation. We know that in alkylation what we are going to add? We are going to add an alkyl group. So let us say this is my phenol. I am going to take any RX. So let us take CH3Cl suppose. So what happened? Again you are going to get this alkyl group substituted at ortho and para position. And if you can recall, we spoke about this thing, any group which has OH and this thing CH3 group attached is called as particularly cresol. So this is what is the alkylation. Acylation, in acylation what we need to do is, this is my phenol, acyl group is going to add, that means RCOCl. So let us take an example of CH3COCl. So what is going to happen? OH is going to remain same because these are the reaction of the benzene ring, and this is going to attach here. So it will be OCOCH3, and again here also at para position also you are going to get OCOCH3. So these are the reactions. So as you have seen that like whenever you are carrying out the halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, they are all occurring at the ortho and para position. It's like so you need to be well versed with it. And one more thing, you should be familiar that what kind of thing, what kind of compound, chemical compound you need to use when you are carrying out nitration or when you are carrying out sulfonation. See, when you are carrying out halogenation, you need to take only halogen, but if you are carrying out nitration, you need to take HNO3, right? When you are carrying, and the group which will get attached is NO2. And when you are carrying out sulfonation, it is H2SO4, and out of that SO3H group is going to attach. When you are carrying out alkylation, you need to carry out RX, and what is going to attach is R, right? And when you are going to carry out acylation, you are going to take RCOCl, and what is going to attach is OCO, like this OCR is going to attach here. So you should be familiar with that. And alkylation and acylation both occur in presence of AlCl3 anhydrous AlCl3. So these are actually the chemical properties. I think you are now well versed or well familiar with the properties of the phenol. So these are the common chemical properties which we see actually due to the OH group and due to the benzene ring. Now we will start with few important basic or special reactions shown by the phenol. So let's look at the board carefully.